Let me first introduce myself. As some of you might not know me, I'm Samar Dridi, a teacher of English working in Mater. I joined the U-innovate initiative that started over a year ago, along with other teachers and inspectors, because I believe in the importance of creating a platform for Tunisian educators mainly, but not solely, of course. And as you know, one of the main objectives of this platform is to offer us a safe place for collaborating and also tightening the bonds between us as a professional community. And I think that you noticed during our past events that we focused on sharing practical expertise and innovative endeavors in order to get inspired by what each is doing without being confined to the walls of their classes. Or let's say it's in a way extending teaching outside the walls of the classroom. By the way, this is in tune with this evening's topic, learning outside the walls of the classroom, which will be tackled through concrete examples by our guest speaker and her students. Let me directly introduce her first. Mrs. Ahlem Sbei is a teacher of English in Tajirween Secondary School. She's been teaching for over 14 years now. She's interested in creative teaching that can engage the learners and develop their life skills through authentic activities. This is why she's been implementing many student-centered projects and at the same time expanding her teaching techniques repertoire by taking part in many online courses she completed with success, such as courses on life skills and deep learning offered by the British Council. During this webinar, Mrs. Sbei and some of her students will be sharing with us some of their work, which allowed them to extend learning outside the walls of the classroom. But before giving the floor to you, Mrs. Sbei, and to our dear students, let me remind our attendees of a few guidelines to ensure the smooth flow of the presentation. So please, colleagues, keep the microphones off during the presentation and use the chat box instead to write your comments or reactions. We'll do our best to forward them to the speakers once they finish. We will also give you the floor to ask questions at the end, so please make sure to hit the raise hand button and wait till you are invited to interact. And please don't forget to mute the microphone again after speaking and asking your question in order to avoid any sound echoes and interference. Something else, please. We turn the cameras off except for Mrs. Sbei because she wants to gain in bandwidth and minimize some of the issues related to connectivity. So it's just for the sake of offering everybody a better viewing experience, especially those having a weak connection. Thank you for your understanding about this. One final remark. I'm being very long, I'm sorry. This meeting is being recorded and we will share, of course, the recording in our Facebook group once it's ready. All right, so I think it's enough and I hope you will enjoy the webinar and benefit from it. And now I'll give the floor to you, Mrs. Sbei. Please share your presentation and good luck.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Samar. I'm trying to share, first of all, my screen with you. So I'm just checking. So could be number one. Okay, this one. Okay. So hope everything just will go well this night. So Is my screen shared, please?
Yes, yes, Ms. Sbei, you can see your screen.
Okay, that's good. So, thank you all. So it's really a great pleasure for me tonight and my students to be among you. In fact, not just to share a presentation, but also thoughts, ideas, and worries related to education. Of course, our educational situation in Tunisia. Um, I would simply start with introducing my topic. So as it's shown in slide number 1, I would be tackling learning beyond the class. To make my topic clearer, I would simply narrow it down. My focus would be in getting with the curriculum beyond the class in a way to maximize learning. Of course, this did not happen at a sudden, but it gets back to, let's say, to a whole story behind. So I would simply summarize whatever was behind embarking upon this project in this word cloud which I have tried to create, words and concepts like hybrid teaching, class beyond the class. My umbrella word would be cracks in the curriculum, pandemic, PBL, deep learning, let's say the new normal. So these concepts, which I would really explain and go in details in this mind map. In fact, during the pandemic, we went all through the same situation, I think. There was either class suspension or restricted work in class. So work in class was really minimized in a way that we couldn't gather to realize our projects. We couldn't even bend as teachers to check students' work, students' writings. We couldn't even maximize learning in class since some of the lessons were dropped. In a way, we found, let me say, ourselves in a stuck in a such, if you like, a problematic situation. So a spur of the moment was simply to go for a hybrid approach. Hybrid approach in which class teaching is there, but we thought about, I'm using inclusive we, of course, because it was like a situation I dealt with, or I found myself in with my students, and we were really talking and discussing it in class. That's why I'm using we, me and my students. So we thought about a way with which we can go with our learning and go with my teaching outside the class. How would that happen? The idea dressed in overalls and looked like a hybrid approach, though I was not an expert and I'm not really expert at virtual classes, and we could not, because of many reasons. Simply there must be a consent from the ministry and all that stuff, equipment and all that stuff. So we thought about perhaps some let's say online or technological tools which would enhance our learning. While just looking for solutions, we simply discovered that this gap between class and outside the class was there from the early beginning. It was already there in our curriculum. It was a crack, and the biggest crack, let's say, showed the best of itself during the pandemic. This led us or led me to make, let's say, some endeavor, some readings concerning this cracks in the curriculum, and I came across a pedagogy simply called teaching in the cracks, and I'm going to define over here which is an in-between teaching pedagogy in which critical educators provide students with meaningful curriculum and connecting them with issues related to their lives. So this is what we are really looking for. Teaching in the cracks begins to answer the dilemma between the curriculum and engagement with learning beyond the classroom. So with or without the pandemic, the gap was there from the early beginning. There was a gap between class, outside the class, talking, of course, about learning in a way that, let's say, learning just goes out the class and simply in the notes students take with them home to review, and it ends there, nothing more. So here, teaching in the cracks, this pedagogy could be best solution for us, and it was really, and it is, because let's say it has become the new normal for us. So between the curriculum engagement with learning beyond the classroom, and let's say the solution was well said, well stated in this definition, which is taken from the International Journal of Critical Pedagogy 2013. It happens simply through projects that would map the curriculum. Just doing further, some, if you like, further readings behind this idea of teaching in the cracks was John Dewey, hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, who really talked about, in a book, I think, called Education and Democracy, he talked about letting even, or he went even to the extent of talking about letting students free in, I would just say it between inverted commas, let's say, design the curriculum in a way they express the topics, the concerns, the problems which are of importance for them, and they simply try to work together to find solutions. Of course, here it's not the same situation because our curriculum is there, and mapping it would be really a great solution, a great idea. So students would be let free to map the curriculum, to structure the curriculum in a way that is of interest for them. So here the answer came clear, and everything has become, let's say, clear for us to embark upon an experience in which we bridge the gap between class and outside the class to maximize learning, of course, bearing in mind that we can't, at least that's a personal choice. I can't embark upon projects which do not have to do with the curriculum, because you know the importance of this curriculum for students, for later measurement or tests, scores, important, and their importance in our system. So I've been talking to my students about the idea, and simply one of them, Bahe, hope he is here with us. He simply came to suggest an online magazine with which we can really realize our projects around the curriculum, of course, and with which we are safe but together, separate but together during the pandemic. So things are becoming really clearer and clearer at this level. He explained the way it works, and he was my leader, I would say it. He was my leader in that project. He taught me a lot. So we embarked upon it. So and it proved to be successful in a way, at least for us. And you're going to have an idea about it, and just give your opinions later on about it. So why this online magazine through an online service called MadMags was simply a good way, a good tool to realize our projects in a way to maximize learning, engage my students beyond the class, It would also move with the curriculum from surface learning to deep learning. In a way, students are going to be leaders, are going to be creative, are going to use soft skills, are going to change even their behavior when trying to solve certain problems we discussed in class. They are going to be, I would say, simply, we are preparing good citizens. So it's also for me, it was a personal tool, a good means for me to measure the intake, to measure how much learning was there, let's say, during this the last 2 years. And it also, I used it as a tool to, let's say, give marks for the oral test. So, of course, this is a project based learning in which a whole process to structure the curriculum is there. And simply you're going to, I'm going to give you concrete examples tonight. So, hope I made myself, let's say, clear by talking about the whole story behind embarking upon this project. I'm going to move to the second part, main part, to talk about, let's say, the practical part, I mean. So what's our project? It's a large-scale project, an online magazine service, let's say, to create a digital or print magazine. It's for free. It's for free, and I would talk about the challenges we faced later on concerning this online service. How to just use it. Simply you Google it app, Mad Max. You find that's what would appear on your screens. You opt for this, if you like, free version or a free template. Then after giving it a click, simply, next slide. After giving it a click, simply you give it a name. For example, here we opted for Tajween's Got Talent. What's our issue? It's going to be on projects. Type of the mag, of our mag, of course, education. And you just follow the instructions. Everything is well explained, and nothing, let's say, is difficult to do it. So here what would appear later on, you add a page, you choose the page you want, whether a cover, whether for briefs, whether for a portfolio, whatever you want to design. You just give it a click, you erase, because it's a template that is already there, what's written, and you start your own work. The best part about it is that you can invite people to collaborate with you. Mad Max allows you to invite an unlimited number of collaborators in your magazine. These, if you like, collaborators could be teachers as well as students. And you can organize, let's say, groups, subgroups. We can, let's say, create leaders and sub-leaders. Some students, let's say, were leaders and sub-leaders. They collect the work, they check, they proofread, they design, they help with interaction when it comes to videos, to images, all that stuff, to links, because we're not all expert in that. I've been learning with them. I was never, or I have never been an expert, let's say, in these technological tools. So how to invite these collaborators? Simply you copy the link and you send it to the person you want to collaborate with. Here, what would, for example, Mad Max lets you collaborate with other users in the magazine. We just follow, and I'll show you what we get. So to create here leaders, sub-leaders, subgroups, all that stuff. After sending them the pages, here what you get, for example, I sent this page to my colleague Nuhas Selmi, my colleague also Najla. We worked on one project related to environment together. That's also a good part about this magazine is that we can collaborate in some projects, not others. You're let free. Nothing is imposed on you. Ziad here, Farah, Iyad are students who collaborated also with us after, of course, going through a whole process in class. And simply here is what I get on my screen. I receive the pages with their names. I proofread. I simply check. I suggest. And then simply we display the work in the magazine. I would simply move with you to the magazine itself. So service is a bit down, I think. So here what would appear, how will work, a magazine, an online magazine with 40 pages, as far as I remember. So here is the how will work. And I would simply be moving to the projects themselves to see or to have an idea about what we've been working on. So here the cover itself was designed, I let them free, was designed by Ziad, who is present here. He's good at that, interested even in that. So he designed the cover page, and then simply he sent it. So I would move to the project themselves so that we, let's say, save some time. So students opted for naming their projects. Let's do something for. It depends on the project they are working on. The first project we worked on, because it was a project in common with all levels. First, let's say, first form, second form, third form, and fourth form. This project, I worked with my colleagues on it. We started in class, for example, with a poll. So I would just show you. Of course, in class it was a hard copy, and even we made, let's say, this questionnaire online, so that readers also become active and participate, contribute to our magazine when simply going through it. So, for example, have you ever looked in someone else's draft just to activate their background, to make them reflect upon their behavior towards the environment? Are you worried about the environment? How you dispose of your trash? And of course, starting from surface questions to deep ones. Overall, what do you suggest to help save the environment? What particular aspect of pollution you have in your city? What would you do in that case, and all that stuff? So I let them free to answer, if you like, the questionnaire, just to raise their awareness to the environmental issue itself. Here, how we started as a warming up in class to discuss the topic. Of course, then we had an open air discussion during the pandemic, of course. We opted for that. So, I hope things are clear. Sorry. I'll show you.
Mrs. Ahlem?
Yes, sorry.
We lost you for a few seconds.
Really? So I'm showing you now a video. Is it there?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes. Yeah, so it was an, I would just so it was just an open air. You lost me since I have started the video.
I think it's okay, Mrs. Samar
okay.
and Mrs. Sbei. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I would simply show a part of it, Mr. Cherni, perhaps for the sake of time, because we've got so many other videos. So it was an open air discussion in which we tried to look for ideas related to recycling. And the students came with many suggestions. This is the second step we did in class. Of course, QR, as you see, students have added this year QR codes to the videos so that whenever we have a hard copy of this magazine, you can scan, or readers can scan, let's say, the QR codes and watch the videos. Then, of course, we created also this Padlet to as a wall for the whole class to participate in, to share their writings. They wrote about the environment. I shared also some activities on Wiser Me, so that at least I maximized their learning during that pandemic. Of course, readers of the magazine can also participate simply by clicking the link. Then simply they can, at least the students can have an idea about the work of their mates. First formers can have an idea about second formers' work, till we reach fourth formers. They were let free to talk about the environment the way they like. So this is what happened in class. Beyond the class now, simply I let them feel free to create things with their parents at home to advertise, and you know how much this skill, this objective is paramount in our curriculum, in all, let's say, curricula, advertising for second formers, third formers, and fourth formers also. They created things and they simply advertised for them. So it was not for the sake of creating something, but also to write something in English about it. For example, Atif, who is fourth former now, not present with us, he created out of some leather tissue and pins, some plywood rest. He created this duster, and he even suggested using it in our school instead of using sponges, which are really, let's say, we consume too many sponges at our schools. So why not this lifelong one he created, and he advertised for it. And later on, I even knew that Atif was let's say, selling some of them to people who were interested. So in a way, that school here taught him some skills with which he can carry on his life outside. So some others like Behe. So Behe, are you here, please? Behe? I'm not sure of the students, if they are... Yeah, so Beha, can you please just talk about your participation in this project?
Yes, of course. First, hello everyone. I'm glad to be a member of this honorable meeting with such great teachers and inspectors who appreciate innovation, creativity, and value learning beyond the classroom. Because transforming theoretical thoughts into practical projects is merely what school aims to. In this perspective, I'm here to talk about my experience with Madame Ahlem and all my cooperative mates. I can't forget that day when Madame Ahlem asked us to go green and create something useful out of trash. I went home and looked around, and suddenly I saw some thrown pots and an electric bulb. So I had the idea to create a nightlight lamp. 2 days after, I went to school so excited to show everyone my little out of trash lamp. And I was fascinated and surprised because everyone brought his own project, so that we spent the whole session discussing these beautiful projects. I won't never forget that day because we really had the chance to create something different using what we learned in class. 1 year from that, Madam Ahlem wondered if we could note down our activities. That's how the idea of creating an online magazine has started. As you can see from the first glance, it's crystal clear that various students appreciate this different project and decided to be a part of it because we are all convinced that we should go the extra mile without being confined to this educational system. And actually, no one regrets joining us because we learned and we're still learning various life skills.
So are you done, Behe? Yeah, Behe. Okay, so yes, thank you, Behe, so much. And I think that Behe is still using this lamp in, let's say, at home, in the garden, let's say during summer. Yeah. Okay, that's really great, Behe. Thank you. So this is concerning Behe. So these are other, let's say, creations done by my students and Mrs. Nahem, sorry, Mrs. Najla also students. Even we as teachers, sorry, we have participated in our way, like this, let's say, ornament, I think, which we used an old towel, dropped in cement, and then we painted it. It was really great. This is also a lamp, night lamp from an old wheel, chains and all that stuff. So I let students free. Most of the time, these are the creations like lamps used out of wheels and chains and all that stuff come from the part of students of the technology section. So I let them free to express themselves the way they want in a way that the topic itself relates to them, to their real life outside the class. Also, LA has, I think, done something at home because I think there was a school suspension at that time. So, LA, are you here? LA?
I'm here, Miss.
Yeah, good evening, LA, please. Could you introduce your project?
Hello, everyone. I'm Ala Abougi, a third-year student at Sbei Secondary School. Last year, we had a project about the importance of recycling. I recycled simplest things like we already had at home, like plastic bottle waters. Instead of throwing, I turned them into pencil cases. This project is still ongoing. Till now, I don't throw the simplest things. Even my family followed my creative idea for crafting. Nature is dying. We need to look for strict solution and give up nature spoilers. I appreciated this project and I want to thank Mrs. Ahlem for her support and for teaching us this enjoyable lesson. So I wish one day we accomplish our goal and save our earth.
Okay, thank you so much, LA. You've been really great in designing this video. I would just play part of it.
Mrs. Sbei, sorry to interrupt. What about the
Yes.
sound?
The sound is not active?
Yeah, it's not there.
How
Could you
shall I
please
do
check?
it, Mr. How shall I do it, Mr. Cherni?
I'm not sure. Can you go to your
I can
computer?
help. Yeah, before you have to share again.
Yeah.
And
The
yeah,
whole
and make
stuff I
sure.
have to share?
Yeah, stop sharing and then make sure to tick the sound button, then share again.
Okay. Then I share again.
Try it.
Yeah, please. What was the instruction, Mrs. Lama? So to share and?
Before sharing, there is a button that
Yeah,
you should
yeah.
tick.
Towards, let's say, the top, yeah? Okay. Normally it would work now. Yeah. We would check now. Is it working,
Yeah, we
please?
can hear it. Yes, yes, it is.
Okay. So as you simply notice here, dear colleagues, that for example, for Ala, she wrote a biography about herself, and that's one of the skills there present in the curriculum. She simply advertised for her product. She used her soft, let's say, skills, like designing a video. They are good at that, at doing that. And then these students have even gone to the extent of having their own YouTube channel, I would say, called Lycée Tijerwin. So you may find all, I'm advertising for them. You may find these videos there on a channel called, which Beha has created, called Lycée Tijerwin, and they share their videos there. And also they created the QR code, so not to leave anybody after publishing their magazine, not to leave anybody behind. So with a hard copy or a soft one, then all readers and followers can simply have an idea, watch the videos and all that stuff. And they were really good at that. So I would move to other projects. Same here for Sanaa, for Mohammed Amin. They are second formers, and they did their best to create, let's say, things out of trash. They did. Of course, I have forgotten to mention. Ahlem mentioned something so important. She said that she talked about her parents. She talked about the continuity of the project. She's no longer my student, though she is still doing it at home. At least we have raised something in them towards the environment. We did some change in their behavior, and that's how real deep learning would happen. So projects prove to be the best ways for me personally to realize deeper learning. Of course, these pages I have created, I have participated to talk about continuity, because I believe that whatever is built, the past is always in here. We can't just forget about. So this is how our projects started. This picture goes back to 2016. I think these university students are about to finish their studies now. We started with a simple environmental campaign at school, in which students just wrote slogans on their on white t-shirts, and they did, and they tried to go green for a while at school. So I'm sure they are happy to be among us, and I'd like simply these my students now to get an idea about how we started and how far, let's say, we are doing with our projects. Project number 2, entitled Smoking Kills, Let's Do Something. Of course, the students' participation starts even in designing the pages. For example, this picture is drawn by Ranim. She's good at that, and this is the way she can express herself. She can't do it by writing a short paragraph about smoking, but I found that she was talented. She was, let's say, drawing well, so she helped her mates with these pictures throughout the whole work, throughout the whole, let's say, projects. So this is how she envisioned smoking. Smoking is suicide. How we dealt with that in class. This time of course, students do all the time say that there's some noise. Students all the time talk about useless of some lessons for them, but they liked that lesson. Fourth formers, for example, liked lesson 6, I think 7. I'm not sure of in unit 2 fourth formers. That lesson about age or ability, in which the English school embarked upon the experience of classifying students according to their abilities, not ages. So why not? I just gathered them both, third formers, second formers, as far as I remember, and fourth formers. They worked for the while stage of the project. I mean, they just simply used their mobile phones as a teaching or as a learning tool in class to look for facts versus opinions about smoke. You know how much our societies are built upon attitudes about opinions, not facts. So I'm trying to instill in them the idea of backing up our, let's say, attitudes or our opinions with evidence, and evidence must be facts, not simple opinions. Among the opinions, for example, smoking eases the mind, smoking helps me concentrate, smoking shows me that, or shows that I am a grown-up. Smoking, I would zoom it so that, so smoking solves the problems. Of course, these were the ideas of my students in class. Some of them, I would say, are smokers, in fact. Then they worked on looking for these opinions on, if you like, online, to see whether this is true or not. For example, smoking eases the mind. It's not scientific. It's rather nicotine attaches to the receptors in the brain. So that's said scientifically. And of course, we tried to go further by creating a poll. I would just click this link to redirect you to an outside link. It's a poll to look. You just click on vote and then you get it, so that readers can participate also, to see how many. Of course, this was done at the level of Tejerwin High School, to see how many smokers we have. Of course, after getting some statistics, after a while, then students changed or paraphrased these statistics, these findings, into a graph. And we all know also that interpreting a graph is part of the curriculum for second formers, third formers, fourth formers. So why not they create the statistics in real life, from class to the courtyard to school? Why not they simply embark upon this experience of creating polls, of analyzing statistics, of paraphrasing or interpreting these statistics. They changed, let's say, these statistics into a pie graph. This is part of their curriculum, and they simply analyzed it. So that was really a good way to relate the curriculum to or to go with the curriculum outside the class. They tried, so for solutions, of course, they wrote paragraphs about it, and students do all the time say, you ask us to write a paragraph in our school magazine, though we don't have really school magazines. We have never gone through this experience. So they were let free because we couldn't come together. They could design, I mean, slogans or whatever to stop smoking. We used this link to an application called Canva, I think, with which students can just create the design they like to the peer, so group work. So you can design, keep smiling, stop smoking, and of course, they were let free to design slogans on, let's say, sheets of papers or in this with this application. So among the smokers, or let's say among the students, those who were really smoking and who said that smoking eases their minds and inspires them, so they simply tried to share some of their writings in which they talk about smoking, and they talk about how a cigarette can ease their minds and all that stuff. And in a discussion which I really liked, a discussion which I would say based on a, let's say, high ground rules of communication. One of my talented students also simply answered her mates poetically to say simply that she is not a smoker, but she is talented and she's inspired, but the cigarette has never been there, or she's not smoking, but she's inspired. And she answered her mate. He wrote, of course, something about smoking in English. It's over here, Idris. And as far as I remember, this is the work of Ahlem. She is a good writer, even in Arabic, and she participates in competition and all the competitions and all that stuff. And she answered him with the same weapon, I would mean. She simply wrote a poem about that, and I really liked it. Why not? Why not even, yeah, why not simply letting students free to tackle the issues the way they like? This is how they saw smoking. This is how they want to talk about it. And Ranim, once again, like to draw something about it to help performers, let's say, in their piece of theater, which for form arts, which they entitled Goodbye Lover. They are talking, of course, about the cigarette. They prepared everything, and they prepared the scene and all that stuff. We worked together to write a script, and they performed a piece of theater on smoking.
You have tired me. I don't think it's working anymore.
Let's fly. I can't be.
You're breaking my heart, dear. Stop begging me.
I can't be. It's good just for your brain. I feel enlightened. I feel ignited when fighting. I feel better when fighting ignited in me.
You have already been my best companion.
Don't leave me, please. I need you.
Best companion? How dare you? What about me? Selfish, evil. I'm done with your nasty nicotine. I'm suffocating 24 years. God, for God's sake. I got tired of you. Enough is enough.
Oh, it's my heart. It's gone now. Stop. Stroke. Stroke. Someone attack me. Don't, please. Last chance. Cigarette you can dance. No more bad smell. No more nicotine. No more tooth decay. No way to cancer. Yes, just for life. Just for filthy life. Yeah. Goodbye, sweetie. Bye, Lala.
So this was the work of fourth formers, and they performed that piece of theater. The next project. So as you see, all the projects or the themes are there in the curriculum present. Let's do something for Le CAF, advertising for a place, and they did it the way they like. So, for example, Saif, are you here?
Yes, I'm here, madam.
Okay, the floor is yours, Saif, please. Saif, yes, you can go on.
Thanks. Dear ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me to be with you at this friendly meeting, in which we'll enumerate the benefits and the benefits of our school magazine. Indeed, our school magazine represents our pride for belonging to our school and our unlimited will to be grateful for our city in general, added to a creative vision to discuss values and some recent widespread phenomena in order to criticize politely to reach the improvement of society. Personally, I've trusted the idea since the beginning, and the experience was a mixture of feelings. The, the tackling of the benefits of my hometown city has been a change to my life. El Kif is a beautiful place to live in. My work was inspired by my visit to El Qasba, Table of Yugata, and some tales from the elders, so I paid attention to include my inspirations into the project. I feel that I'm a true citizen thanks to the school magazine. My, no, my knowledge for the place has widened, and for the first time, I felt that celebrating my hometown's treasures needn't a special day, but it must be felt through the whole year. El Kef represents my identity. This reason was the ultimate passion to highlight the dazzling secrets of the city. Despite the short time of the video and for the paragraph experience time, the whole process was made with love. Also, I wouldn't hide that the project was too challenging for me, because I defied one of the fears that really so important for me, defying the phantom of being shy. The project was too challenging. Even first of all, I was too shy from really checking the quality of sound, because I made a video talking by myself about the whole process of visiting El Kef and capturing the benefits and highlighting them. Even I felt too weird to check my voice, but in the final process, I was too confident, and I felt for the first time I'm a true citizen. Uh, I owe special thanking for Mrs. Ahlem Sbei, who believed in the power of youth to make a challenge. Thanks a lot.
Okay, so thank you so much, Saif. We would enjoy your video for a while.
Let's do something for El Kef. El Kef is a lovely state in the northwest of the Tunisian Republic. You won't regret being in El Kef. You will feel as if you were home for the hospitable and warm-hearted people that you'll meet. If it happens you were in El Kef, you would certainly enjoy the breeze, the greenery, and the breathtaking landscapes of its thick vegetation. Don't hesitate to live an adventure and camp there. Make El Kef your destination in spring. Why not towards the middle of May? And enjoy Mayo Festival. Taste the sublime birth game. This dish would really make your day. If you want to dig deep in history, then Al Qasba must be your first destination. Just by being high above this old tower, you'll have a nice bird view of the whole town. Don't be reckless also to hit the road towards the table of Yugharta. Get to the top of this extraordinary ruin. There you would simply dash the saying that says, the past is in the past. It is rather better to say, the past is in here and now. Don't hesitate to give it a try. Pack your suit and hit the road.
So Saif is advertising for Al-Kaf. Hope you pay it a visit. Of course, I would say to him that he talked about a change in his own behavior. Saif said to just stop being shy, something like that when he was talking. I would say that you all students, my students, me and you all together, we are trying to just get out of that bubble of our comfort zones. You helped me do that also to be here tonight. Of course, this is the way, for example, Saif advertised for Al-Kaf, and it's on YouTube. That's a good idea. Also, they prepared an advertisement about Mayo Festival. I think once they were asked about in a back exam, I think, Mayo Festival. So why not to talk about it in here in this magazine, so their mates in other levels get an idea about what an advertisement looks like. Sharing, it's about sharing. Also, Raouf talked about Lukef dressing in white, and he is here with us. Raouf?
Yes,
Raouf?
miss, I'm here.
Yeah, good evening.
I'm here, yes. Good
Yeah,
evening.
go on,
Good
Raouf.
evening. I'm Raouf Naili, a fourth-year student at Tajreen Secondary School. My project was about Kif, the state in where I live, the place where poverty and joblessness have taken a big place. I've written a paragraph in which I encourage people to come in and visit our wonderful state, which dresses in white in winter, where you can get a taste of Tunisian traditions. So that I encourage people to come in and visit our West state, not only to experience the unbelievable ecotourism, but also to visit our wonderful museums and monuments like Al Qasba. Finally, I want to thank you all for listening to me, and special thank to Mrs. Ahlem, the best teacher who's the best supporter ever. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Raouf. I'm pretty sure there are many other, let's say, better teachers than me, I'm sure. So thank you, Raouf. I really like the idea of talking about eco-tourism in Al-Kaf. So at least they can be, these students can be good citizens later on when they are at workplace to do something for their states, for their country after all, okay? So here a page created, the common one, the next one, by me to show how our classes have become during the pandemic, and simply that would be the new normal for us as teachers and students, a class in which hybrid teaching dresses in overalls and looks like that with flip papers, crayons, and let's say PCs, some technology, though we're not well equipped, but we are simply trying to do it. So not to miss the, if you like, to miss learning itself. So here is another video, I think created by Behe about school closure. That situation, ambivalent situation, which we all lived these last 2 years. He created it and he shared it on YouTube. So I would just let you have an idea about.
I got 3 words for you. children will die. Seriously? You want to open schools, sir? This is a death trap.
That's a load of crap. Listen, quarantine's over. Kids have to go back.
Do you know how hard it's gonna be to socially distance 30 kids in a classroom? That's a joke. And you know those school bathrooms don't even have soap. That's a frightening vision, and something ain't right with it. How come you politicians have your kids homeschooled, yet you want to sacrifice the health and life we're living? That's like being pro-war. But no, you're not the one fighting in it.
Don't worry, only a few kids may die. That's life, we can't control it. Plus, it's proven that kids are strong and more protected from COVID.
That's not true, sir. Don't play that political game. I know you expect us to surf the second wave, but this study out of South Korea says that children are affected exactly the same. Plus, all kids aren't strong. Some have obesity, others breathing trouble, and none live in a bubble, which means if they catch the virus and take it home, their parents and grandparents are in trouble.
Yeah, but virtual learning is not ideal. Kids just don't learn like that.
You are sad. Hospitals are overrun, borders closed, but you want kids to go to school and play Corona tag. You know, it's funny how all of a sudden you care about education. See, I think it's really about cash, because no cap, I learned more watching YouTube videos than I did in class. So don't tell me school is perfect, because that's bogus. I'm not trolling, but I knew a kid who graduated high school and couldn't even read his own diploma.
Oh, grow up.
I'm serious. See, classroom learning is equal or worse to e-learning. And if you don't believe me, check out this study that concluded classroom learning is equal or worse to e-learning.
Yeah, but kids need socialization and physical interaction, okay?
Seriously? Seriously, school tells kids to sit their butt down and don't talk to each other for 8 hours a day. You call that socialization? That's not smart. Plus, how are kids gonna interact when they are 6 feet apart?
Okay, wise guy. What about our great teachers? Their presence is needed.
Now that I can agree with, yes. Teachers are the most important factor for a student's success, which is why you should treat them with more respect. I mean, they give their best, yet many have to buy their own supplies because you refuse to invest. And once again, during COVID, they are the ones you neglect. See, you're giving them the short end of the stick. God forbid, but are you gonna pay the medical bills when these great teachers get sick? I mean, I get your point. Socialization and hanging with friends is needed for a healthy mind. And the only way I think physical class could work is if we have it outside.
Outside?
Yeah, outside. You know, kids do learn better when they're actually alive.
This guy, don't even try. Do I look like a fool to you?
No, of course not. I know you want more business as usual. You love the fact that prisoners get more time outside than students do. But see, outside learning is what they did during the Spanish flu and tuberculosis too. Still social distance, follow all protocols for prevention, but give them fresh air and vitamin D, which are proven to boost the immune system. So here's what I conclude. Give them 1 to 2 days a week in an outside classroom. Those who need hot meals, any day should be able to pick up the food. But the rest of class will be online. Now, when in class, follow all the guidelines, like masks and/or face shields, which protect the eyes, and get creative. Let students police themselves. For every day of safe behavior, they get points. If they get enough points, they get, a week vacation. Here are some protocols from other countries that I want you to read and understand. Because one life lost is one too many. Let's leave nothing up to chance. I know you have other interests involved, but even you shouldn't want this blood on your hands.
So Beha has summarized it all in this animated video, which he has created. It summarizes all. We can't simply go over and just remember that story at the beginning of the pandemic. Then we move it to Beha is out of the meeting, I think. Don't know what happened with him. Anyway, he talked at the very beginning of the first project. Then we move it to another theme, the Tunisian educational system. So education matters in the curriculum. The same way we started in class with a poll at the school level. You can share with us this poll in which we simply asked students, do you appreciate our Tunisian educational system? It was just like to look for their reaction because the question is, let's say, broad. So they answered whether with yes and no, and you can also participate. And simply later on in class, we have discussed the reasons why, and there were plenty of reasons there. The same thing, they have changed the statistics into graphs to interpret, to talk about in class. So 75% of the students who voted, of course I'm talking at the level of Tejerwin High School, did not like the system in simply they say the curriculum is overloaded, inadequate timetable, boring topics. Though here the same topics we have created some, or I try to engage them in the topics which are there in the curriculum. So I let them free to structure the curriculum the way they like in this magazine. So that was really terrifying a bit, but the truth, of course, for them, they simply ask for a reform. And later on, they shared their ideas among them, whether, for example, Zia is really shy and simply he wanted to participate with a video, an audio recording, and I let him free. He wrote a paragraph. Ziad also tried to express himself. Ziad is here. Ziad? Ziad and Iyad
Yes,
are here, I
yes,
think.
I'm here, yes.
Yes, Ziad, go on.
Hello everyone here, teachers, inspectors, students, and everyone who decided to spend their time with us today. My name is Ziad, I'm 17, I'm a student in Tejerwin Secondary School. I'm here to talk about my part of this project that was mainly created last year. So I was the cover designer of the magazine where I used some of my real life skills, which I never had to use during my 12 years of education. So the picture I used is an exclusive photo that I took a while ago, and I didn't know it would be it would be used one day. Also, my editing skills, which were almost useless during my educational path. I also participated in designing some of the pages, which with my classmate Baha. But most importantly, I have written a paragraph talking about our educational system, as you can see on page 30. And I still have things I need to get off my chest. If you check our project, you might ask, there is almost 20 names on this magazine. How can it be called a school project? Most of the students participated with something more valuable than pages, which is ideas and interactions. Ideas are way more relevant and rare than anything. And that's why I think every school need an opportunity to develop their students' skills. And I'm not only talking about magazines. There are an infinity of projects to work on with students, because everyone is talented in his own way. Not to mention up to date clubs with new concepts. Don't get me wrong, music, acting, and painting clubs are great, but it's probably time to step up to robotics, cinema, editing clubs, because that's the stuff students are more interested in these days. Just think about it. We could have had the next Leonardo DiCaprio or the next Bill Gates between us, but he didn't get the chance to show off his skills. Or maybe some of the teachers here with us didn't get the chance to discover their real talent that would have made them millionaires if they were not teachers or if they were not afraid of our society's judgment. So don't be afraid to go ahead and try different things until you achieve what you want and discover real success. Finally, I want to thank everyone for being here and giving us a chance and staying up late with us I didn't know it would get this late. Anyway, since interactions are so important, I will be considering any comments on my paragraph or my design, and I will be glad to answer any question about what I said or what I have written as soon as you can read it. I also want to thank everyone who participated and didn't get the chance to be with us today or didn't get their name written in the credits, because all of them are as important as everyone of us here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ziad. Of course, you need to talk to me in class about the projects you have in mind before going to university, I think, to get the best of you this year. Sure, I have forgotten to say that behind this magazine, we all worked on it in class, trying to involve all the students. Sometimes I couldn't. Simply students refuse to take part. They don't like to. Of course, their work is there with hard copies. They just give me in class. I hope this year they would participate. So Iyad also, Iyad, are you here?
Yes, Miss, I'm here.
Yes, go on, Iyad, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to attend this virtual meeting. My name is Iyad. I'm a student in Tajrin Secondary School. I'm here to talk about my participation in the project of Mrs. Ahlem and of all of us, the innovative teacher. For me, the project is a chance for students to express, to show soft skills, to get rid of the routine of classes and lessons, and try something new. I simply talked of my opinion about educational system, and it's very important to tell your opinion and others listen to and discuss it. And finally get the lessons. What I wanted to say to my colleagues, please try to participate in these kinds of projects, or it's the best occasion where you can even find your talent. Thanks to everyone here, inspectors, teachers, students. Thanks to all guests here, and I invite all teachers to follow Mrs. Ahlem's steps and push and support students to talk, to be creative, to go green, to recycle. It's one of my dreams, because I believe that inside every student there is a huge energy. They are just waiting for the chance to explode and mesmerize all of us. Thanks to you all.
Okay, thank you, Iyad. I would just share your opinion. So an audio or a video, Iyad, it was. So let me check first.
To be
Yes.
realistic, I think that educational school is so disappointing. Seeing people accomplishing schools and holding all degrees, but unhappily staying home with no jobs and waiting for a long time desperately. Me personally, I think that to succeed in life, you should avoid this educational system and take risk and face this hard life. Seeing a doctor, someone genius, waiting every month to be paid a low salary, and seeing a businessman and a literate person having a collection of Lamborghini cars makes me so lazy.
You're not lazy anyway, Iyad. You're a hard worker, I know. Never mind. So these were some of my students' opinions. Of course, here Farah also has participated, though she did not like at the beginning. Ranim once again with her drawing. I let some students free to participate, not with the, let's say, things so related to the curriculum, though they are, in fact, in my opinion. So, for example, Wisal here, she wants to be, in the future, a life coach. And she enjoyed, let's say, participating and sharing This speech she prepared, positive vibes, she's telling to her friends. She introduced herself, and she's free to design her page the way she liked, with her photo, with I think a song. Yeah.
I think the calm after the storm is more beautiful than the calm before. Not only you survive the storm, but also you come out stronger and more prepared for all the storms ahead. Think about COVID-19. Think about what the whole world is facing right now. Think about all the dull moments in your personal life. Keep fighting. Don't lose the hope. Don't lose the spirit. Remember who you are and the power inside you that can change your life. Don't wait for the good moment to happen. Just work hard and make it. Be there for yourself. Be proud of yourself. Accept your imperfection and proudly show them to the world. Because that's who you are and that's how people will stay in your life. So fight with your storm and give yourself the sunshine you deserve.
So this was her speech. Of course, writing a speech is part also of the curriculum for especially third formers. She did well in that. She's so shy, Wisal, and till now I couldn't get her consent to attend the meeting. She left this audio recording. So also Idris, I have talked about previously in another project, is a good writer. This is the way he talks about himself. With Ranim, backing him up with her drawings. Then I left other students free to work on pages, on riddles, on things they like to, let's say, entertainment pages. Simply, they are over here. So that was a missing part. This is Sbei. They were simply working in class. So here I come to the end of this magazine, the end of let's say the pages, but not the end of the work. And I would get back to the presentation to conclude. It's high time, I think, to conclude. So just waiting for the slides. So the conclusion, so hybrid teaching has become the new normal. Technology like this online service suggested by students, and they still have, it's said by Ziad, I still have other tools which would help learning to, which would enhance learning, let's say, outside the class. Technology supports learning outside the class by making it deep. That's the most important part for me. So relearning, there is a change in the behavior. There is something that takes learning from inside, let's say, the textbook itself to outside. And by making it real and measurable, learning would be meaningful when students map the curriculum around the problems that mean to them, though the themes are already there, but they have become of interest when students map the curriculum once again. This is how they see these topics, not just perhaps a hard copy in front of them. It's there. We can't deny, but they can't do much better with some technological tools, and they are good at that. Better even, I would say, than me, much better than me. They taught me, they were my leaders. Collaborative applications fosters quality education. So we come here to talk about not just education is there, but sustainable, let's say, quality education, which we are looking for, interaction, the way they interact. They made themselves tonight, let's say, present among us. And I think that one day at workplace, they would find themselves in such situations. At least we did not deprive them of that opportunity to celebrate their project publicly. So project-based learning won't come true, unless celebrated, published. Creativity, and leadership. They were leaders. They were my leaders even. Mad Max makes PBL authentic. It did by displaying the work publicly. PBL puts the curriculum into practice beyond the walls. Teaching and learning could best happen when they are hybrid. And I would just get some time, if you allow me, to talk about some challenges, for example, concerning this MAG. We started to work then when we added some interactions, the way we wanted to publish the work. Yes, you can do it, but the interactive, let's say, parts of the MAG did not appear. Simply, we needed to pay. To pay was not the real problem. My students told me that we need to have, let's say, an international card or I don't know, something like that. We opted for a hard copy of this magazine, but it was full of tattoos with Mad Max. So we are still, and I'm pretty sure they would find a solution. They opted for example, QR codes to scan, so that readers can scan and watch the videos. So hope, I've been talking to Mr. Cherni once about, or he has been talking to us, I think, about that convention, something free from the part of the ministry concerning some applications. I have asked the regional directorate, but I got no answer. Don't know if we can at least have this convention of having some applications for free for teachers, to educational ones, I mean, for free. Challenges like Zia talked about, students sometimes refuse to take part. In a way, they say that it's a waste of time. I made it. I tried to make them understand that this is not a waste of time. It speaks to the heart of the curriculum itself. So we are trying to. They are reluctant most of the time. So, but we are trying to. We try to do the best. So I think I am done with my presentation. I am really thankful for you all present here, for being all ears to listen to me, to let's say to be present or to be among. I am lost, I think. So, are you
please
here?
don't be, Mrs. Sbei. We really thank you very much. You inspired
thank you,
us.
Mrs. Samar. Thank you. The floor is yours, Mrs. Sahar. Samar, sorry, yes.
Really thank.
Okay. Mrs. Sbei, thank you. A big thank you and a warm thank you to you and to your students. Your work is really sensational and outstanding. Let us all present here propose a vote of thanks to you and your students. Ala, Baha, Saif, Raouf, Ziyad. You are all exceptional and amazing. You've shown us that nowadays we are in dire need of such great teachers to inspire their students and propel them to do amazing things. Again, a big thank you to you, Mrs. Sbei, for sharing your work with your students. You made it very clear that by freeing our classrooms from the shackles of monotony and boredom, creativity, imagination, and innovativeness is there. One of your students, I think, talked about life skills and the fact that he has never used his life skills before, and you gave him an opportunity to do so. Another one said There's a lot of energy inside each one of us, and you gave him again the opportunity to showcase his talent. So again, I can't thank you enough for the quality of your work. I would also thank Mrs. Samar Dridi, our dear moderator, who gave all of us a warm welcome at the kickoff of our 14th webinar. Thank you all. Over to you, Mrs. Samar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Habib. Again, I would like to thank Mrs. Sbei. It was very inspiring. I really enjoyed every bit of it, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one. Actually, I find that all the activities can be easily adapted to my own context, and that my students will feel equally motivated by doing them because they are authentic and tightly related to our context. I also find the use of ICT pertinent and efficient. I would like also to highlight the way Mrs. Sbei and her students overcome the problems that face them, because we all know that we always face problems. These are not things that occur or happen easily. And your perseverance in solving those problems is really inspiring too. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
All right, good. So maybe now I will give the floor to our attendees for some questions or comments. So please, you can use the raise your hand button to interact with Mrs. Beer if you want. I'm sure the colleagues envy you, Mrs. Sbei, because of the amazing students you have.
Yes, they are indeed, yes. Yes, they are. They inspired me in a way.
You're lucky, and they are amazing.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much.
We have a question from Mrs. Atwi. She's asking about how you keep your motivation going.
Yeah, I motivate my personal one, you mean? Yeah, so I simply, I just like, I would say it frankly, I do not like to get old. So though I am getting there, so I'm enjoying their age, let's say. I'd like to think the way they think. We share many things together. I keep in touch with them. I find them sometimes there to talk about certain issues, even sometimes related to me. They've got great ideas, especially these students, which I do always say, don't know how to describe them, but they are good quality students, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be good quality citizens later on. I'm interested, Mrs. Atwi, as I told you, I'm interested in whatever related to engaging students. Since days we were at university with don't know, with Mr. Ben Yahya and those, if you like, great teachers. They stimulated the same thing. They instilled the same thing in us. Issues related to our, let's say, system, to our textbooks, how to design a textbook, and all that stuff. So it's there all the time in my mind. Don't of course forget that we are parents, and sometimes I told you that once, Mr. Cherni, that sometimes when you find your child stuck, you just start to think about the whole situation, which is apparent nowadays on all faces, especially teachers. I envy sometimes those who have nothing to do with school and education, because I see, let's say, that peace of mind in them. I see that also in my colleagues. There is something wrong with our system. So there must be some action taken. I'm trying to, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Sbei. Thank you, Mrs. Samar. There's always a sparkle of hope. You, both ladies, Mrs. Samara and Mrs. Sbei, you are indeed a sparkle of hope. I think we have, let's hear from our dear and faithful participant, Mrs. Munjia Nasri. She's here with us and she has something to say about today's webinar. Mrs. Nasri, if you are there, the platform is yours.
Yes. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, we do.
You can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Good evening,
yes, Mrs.
everyone.
Nasri,
It's
please go
really
ahead.
Great
So
pleasure.
we are all ears.
Yes. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mrs.
Yes,
Nasri.
Mrs. Munjia, yes.
Can
Please
you
go
hear
ahead.
me? Of course, yes. Okay, okay. It's really a great pleasure and honor for me to attend your webinars. Okay, they are adding benefit and warmth to my evenings. Now to Mrs. Ahlem Sbei, I'm really proud of my colleague. Okay, and it's not strange to me to know about her innovative practices. And of course, to the pandemic, during hard times, heroes and leads emerged to make the difference. And Mrs. Sbei was shining during that time, okay, and so far. And of course, nothing comes from nothing, as William Shakespeare says. Surely it was great effort, great challenge to reach that level. And I'm really asking myself the question, how could she did it? Yes, with all pride. Okay, so switching the pupils from face-to-face interaction, from real life, okay, from real school activities to that digital magic world. Okay, surely, okay, I like to hear how the start would, because my pupils, they are excellent, they are nice, but they are reluctant to interact through that word. It is still okay, they still feel alien in that word. They like classroom interaction. They like if they like things to be done face to face. This is my first question. How could how was the start? How were the first steps? Okay, if she can tell us about it. Then my second question is more specific. She talked about gathering students from different levels, I think second, third, and fourth forms. So about to speak about, I think she referred to two modules, one about one of them about education, age or abilities.
Yes.
So surely the difference in age is there, but I like to know about the objective behind this gathering, different ages. Did she then, okay, rely on different abilities or gathering pupils from different age groups, but with the same ability? And how could ability be the same with those teens who are have different experiences with that second language? So these are my two questions, and I am still thrilled with her competencies as well as those of her learners. So okay, hats off, Mrs. Ahlem Sbei. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Munjia. In fact, concerning the first question, how I would paraphrase it, how I motivated my students to work on, let's say, this soft skill project. So I would say simply, as I summarized in that mind map at the very beginning, there was the initiative was taken from their part. It's Beha who suggested the whole stuff. Simply, when I talk to students, I talk sincerely to them, as simple as that. I just treat them as creatures, grown-ups who can find solutions to problems. Of course, students are with certain soft skills, but I was at that time with no soft skill at all, except perhaps typing documents. So I started in this group in U-innovate. I remember that I have forgotten the name once again from Sfax, that lady who talked about Wiser Me, about Padlet, and it started there, I think. She was a great lady. Why not me? I simply said, why not me? So I've been talking to that to my students. I do simply motivate them by instilling in them some, let's say, enthusiasm, saying, why not us in our region? Why not at our school? Why not somewhere else, but not here? I show them projects of other students and other teachers, and simply we discuss it sincerely. I keep dreaming with them that one day we can celebrate our project. It was celebrated at the level of El-Kaf, and now it's here, and they are really happy with that. The day I told them that we are invited once again to display our project, they were really, I have never expected them to be that happy. So this is the way I motivate them. Of course, from time to time, there is a small party which we enjoy together. And that's it. That's how things, I just deal with the projects in a sincere way. It's not a project for the sake of a project and that's it. It's work. It's part of the curriculum. It's part of measuring your abilities. It's part of testing. And you know how much testing and scores are important in our system. Simple as that. Then they enjoy that. They are themselves motivated and they enjoy that. Especially Ziad has talked about it. He said that when my colleagues saw us working on these projects, he's talking about his mates in class. They were really introvert, in a bubble, even in an isolated island in class, and they got out of that bubble. I won't mention names, but we really, I've been really fighting this, if you like, aloofness in some of my students. It took time, Mrs. Munjia. It was not in 1 or 2 days. It took 2 years, I would say months. 2 years. It started. These students are fourth formers now, and I started with them. They were second formers. It doesn't mean that they are all my students now, but I keep in touch with them. They are not all my students now. They are, let's say, my colleagues' students. Of course, cooperation and all that stuff are always there. And there's a snowball effect, you know. Students just talk to each other. Oh, you've been in a magazine, in an online magazine. Why not me? It's a channel. We've got our channel on YouTube. Why not us? Why not this class? And they keep, let's say, just trying to do the same. Concerning the second question, Mrs. Mongia, about simply, I was saying that when I taught the lesson, students liked the idea of mixing students, but not according to age. So why not realizing that in real life? Here you come simply to a class in which I can work, in which theme we worked on that. It's a theme concerning, I think, because they share the same objectives of the lesson. You know how much third form curriculum and fourth form curriculum are interrelated in a way. They were there to talk about facts and opinions about smoking. It was an occasion for them to come together. My class was not, of course, let's just bear in mind that at that time we were teaching groups, not classes. So with this class, I think no more than 8. With the fourth form, I think the same. And it was the work was, let's say, easy in a way. They shared ideas, and why not? I tried to bring them together, though they are different in sections, maths and arts, and though they are different, let's say, in ages, but they could work together. As I was just because they liked the idea, I wanted simply to bring them together.
Yes. Can I ask another question or a request or something? Can I?
Yeah, Mrs. Munjia Nasri, if it's a request, it's okay.
Request.
We are conscious of time and
yes,
it's late.
So your final.
It's nearly 10 to 9. So please go ahead, Mrs. Nasri. Just a request.
A request, yes. Her final advice to us, okay, to get out of our fears and conquer that world of ICTs, of information and computer, okay, technologies. She shows her excellence in that, okay. Did she take, okay, special course, okay, something like that, okay?
No, in fact, Mrs. Munjia, it's a personal endeavor. It's been here in this group. As simple as that. It's been here in this group with, I just follow. I am so slow sometimes. I learn from whoever he or she is. I ask all the time, and I don't think so much about the other's attitude, let's say, towards me. Never, ever. Just to learn. I do whatever to learn, and that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Sbei. Over to you, Mrs. Samar. I think it's time to wrap up this session.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Sbei, for your answers. Thank you, Mr. Habib. Well, I guess this brings us to the end of our meeting. Thank you again, Ms. Sbei, and all the students for your valuable contribution to this webinar. We hope that our colleagues learned many new things from it. I'm sure they did, and that they are ready to put some of them into action. My thanks go also to all my colleagues from U-innovate for their willingness to promote collaboration and mutual learning through this series of webinars by educators and for educators. Let me remind you at the end that you'll find the recording of this session in our Facebook group, U-innovate Network for Teachers. So please check it regularly, as we also post the updates for our events there. Thank you very much, dear colleagues, for attending tonight's meeting. It was a distinct pleasure for me to co-moderate it with ELT Inspector Mr. Habib Cherni and to accompany you for over an hour of inspiring and fruitful interaction. I hope to see you all again in our future events. Thank you very much and bye.
Thank you all. Good night.